It's time for some really stupid news. This is news with up to 27% more stupidity goodness than the stupid news that's just the news. Let's begin with word from Saudi Arabia that women in that country are finally going to be allowed to drive. The liberalizing move comes hot on the heels of the nation's abolition of slavery in 1962. The royal decree placing women behind the wheel was issued in spite of one Muslim cleric's pronouncement that the ban on women drivers should remain intact because, and I'm not making this up, he really said it, women's brains shrink to a quarter the size whenever they go shopping. But the science deniers in the Saudi court wouldn't listen to the man, and they gave women the car keys anyway. So now a bunch of quarter-brain girls peering out through the narrow slits in their burqas will be careening around the roads like pachinko balls. But in light of the obvious dangers, the Saudis have decreed the women will only be allowed to drive in Jewish neighborhoods. Then there's a story torn from the pages of social media, which has no pages because it's social media. Twitter announced that it will now double the number of characters that will be allowed in each tweet from 140 to 280. Twitter apparently felt that too many people were being forced to edit and organize their thoughts and develop a concise sense of humor, and that what social media really needed was more random bloviating and rambling hate speech. One big advantage to the change, of course, is that we'll finally get to hear from Donald Trump in depth. For instance, now that Trump can use more characters, we'll find out what he meant when he sent out a tweet that ended, "As for North Korea, I have decided that I am declaring war." Plus, we'll get to hear the end of the sentence that Hillary Clinton is really a little, who knows where he was going with that. Finally, the New York Times, a former newspaper, has been working hard lately to make it seem like 20th century communism was really great. The ideology was responsible for at least 100 million murders, which is even more people than Donald Trump killed when he criticized the NFL. Nonetheless, the Times, which can't find anything good to say about Trump, keeps finding wonderful stuff to say about communism. They recently ran a story called "Why Women Had Better Sex Under Socialism," and another called "When Communism Inspired Americans." And this week, they unleashed the headline, "For all its flaws, the communist revolution taught Chinese women to dream big." Its flaws, of course, included mass murder, forced starvations, and torture and imprisonment for dissent. The big dreams of women were to get the hell out of there and come to America so they could wrap fish in the New York Times. That's the stupid news, and if the news isn't stupid enough for you, just wait. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.